And moving straight on in again, like I said, about halfway done. It's the same heroes we've been seeing a lot of. Not a whole lot of flex. However, there is a Life Stealer ban, which is always fun. Naga banned down in the last position for LV. And yeah, like this is kind of what we've come to expect in the Eastern Division. They really feel like they've honed in on the set of heroes that they believe is the most consistently strong and flexible. And we've seen them arrange in about every possible configuration thus far in Eastern play, which makes us pretty qualified to be able to predict some things. The Mirana's a nice little change of pace. Remaining. The Ogre Magi actually picked up by LV Gaming. Venge is in the pool. Wouldn't surprise me at all to see LGD go with a Venge.
LGD Gaming's
Yep, sorry, I was actually checking. I swear that LV Lin is actually Whisper. He just changed his name.
Yeah, sounds right.
Okay, because I was really confused there for a second because like, wait a second, I thought he was on the lineup. I actually went back into the previous games of D2L. I was like, all right, I got to make sure. And I saw it still stayed there, but he had games on Timbersaw, and I know that he was known for his Timbersaw. So yeah, I'm pretty sure that's Whisper. Anyway, I wanted to just double check on that. LV Gaming with a as far as you meant LGD actually, as far as the Vengeful Spirit. Yeah, so could still be very strong at Centaur. It's just like I mentioned in the cast earlier today. It's just an overall very strong support for many reasons. It has good stun, good counter push, the saving ability to swap, the aura, good Roshan potential with the Wave of Terror, just everything. It's just an all-in-one kind of hero. They have one more pick for that. I'm guessing it's going to be a support Mirana. And they're actually going to go with the Rubik, which is still good. You have a lot of good spells to steal, namely the Centaur. His Stampede is actually quite easy to steal, and it's just a good hero about catching him, even if he does use that Stampede, and just making sure he can't run away. Yeah,
the Rubik pick actually does surprise me. There are some good spells, as you had mentioned. Fire Blast, quite easy to steal as well. And one of the more valuable spells in the pool, at least in terms of just spammable stuns. Ancient Apparition. Stealing Ice Blast usually doesn't happen that often, but if you can make it happen, it's certainly a big boon for your team. Just tough because he tends to be quite far away whenever he launches it, so you're usually not in the vicinity. But LV's going to round things out with a Spectre pick. And at this moment, I actually prefer LV's draft. And granted, we're still waiting to see the 5th out of LGD, so perhaps they're going to have a puzzle piece fall right into place. But I've just gotten to where we've watched enough of these matches, Trouth, and we're getting into the Western side a lot deeper now. I just like tanky lineups. I like lineups that don't have a whole lot of thinness to them, or if they do, they're counterbalanced with a lot of AoE. The Invoker's there. We don't know if that's going to be Quas Wex or Exhort. We'll find out coming up. But with the Ancient Apparition being a part of the equation, that's going to guarantee a lot of kills across map.
I swear I was going to call that. Sorry.
Oh, it's okay. So, okay, no, go ahead and clue me in. Why the Anti-Mage?
It's because whenever you have a... I don't want to say greedy, because I hate that word, but when you have a carry that is going to take some time to come online, and they're already showing it on their side, so they're already showing Spectre. So about 99% of the time they're just going to go safe lane with this. It gives you a little bit of reassurance that, hey, we can do this too. We can get very, very greedy with our carry. And Anti-Mage is probably better in the sense that if we know we can get him secured farm, that he's going to farm faster than your greedy carry. And right. It's kind of like that interaction between it. And yeah, I think Anti-Mage is a fine pickup here. They also have 4 other heroes that can fight well without Anti-Mage. I mean, all these heroes fight very well without, a ton of farm. Titanhunter needs basically a blink. I would say normally in the Chinese scene, they like to get mech. I'm pretty sure Injali gets blink earlier, though, than most of the Chinese players. And then Ember Spirit can fight, honestly, with just phase and drum. So I think this is an okay pickup, actually, for LGD.
Yeah, I can dig it, and I think your logic it follows. I mean, if you know you're going to be going toe-to-toe with a carry that's going to want to hard farm, how about you get one that's a nice middle ground? Anti-Mage can split push. He doesn't have quite the presence that a Spectre will have, especially if this does end up being an Exort Invoker for Inflame. We'll keep an eye on him. It is so easy to underestimate just how many kills will occur in a match like this if the Ice Blasts are on point, if the Sunstrikes are on point, if the Spectre is willing to haunt in, and a lot of pinging going on.
I know.
If the Spectre's willing to haunt into small engagements or even just on the solo targets if he feels it's safe, and using the Spectral Dagger and so on, you can tally a lot of kills. And, you've really kind of convinced me how valuable those can be, in particular for the Invoker, the fact that it's basically bonus experience that procs off of it if you're able to secure the kill itself with the Sunstrike. Like, these are very real possibilities, and they're going to allow them to spread the map and pressure the map even without being there all the time. And then you have the tankiness, the survivability of heroes like Spectre once she gets farmed, of the Ogre Magi, of the Centaur, and even of the Invoker as he will. Invokers are always just kind of slippery and tough to track down most of the time. On the other side, again, I like the Tide. The Rubik, I won't say is a question mark, as in like, oh, why would he pick this? I mean, I totally get it. But the performance matters so much whenever you have a Rubik in a lineup like this, where your other support, the support Mirana, is not just some ogre magi who just waddles around the map and gives you a known value. Like, if the arrows are on point, then you've got a good game. If they're not, Rubik has a hard time picking up slack in those situations. Yeah,
I do have to correct myself a little bit, like with the Rubik pick. I was thinking, oh, wow, there's a lot of good spells, but actually it's really, like, pretty much just the Centaur, really. And it's not, unless you get the ulti, it's not even that impressive. So looking at it a second time, it's basically just because you can hold the Centaur in place very, very easily with Rubik. Like, he tries to ulti away, you use the Rubik Lift. If it's leveled up, it basically nullifies the entire ultimate. Similar to a sense of, like, if you have a Darkseer in your lane, you're trying to zone him out. You wait with, like, say, a Rubik or a Shadow Demon. You wait till they cast the Surge, then you cast the Disruption or the Lift, and it kind of nullifies that spell.
We've got Faith roaming around mid already. Who is that pinging that out? It is the Centaur. Yeah, it looks like they spotted him with this ward, so they know exactly where he is. He walks right out of vision, but arrow shot. And, oh, it hit him! He knew it was coming! And he's going to take some damage. Not the end of the world. That was very near max range, but still. I mean, it's a Quas opening from the Invoker. Want to see what he takes in his first 3 levels. Yep, he's going to go ahead and take his Invoke, so we'll see what comes out of level 3, if it's going to be a Wex point or an Exort point. Usually, though, seeing the Quas come out this early, and you're the one who's kind of made this point over and over, you can kind of assume it's going to be Wex next, otherwise they would go Exort.
Yeah, well, that, and he is 1v1 against Ember, so the Tornado is perfect. In fact, on level 3, once he gets the Flame Guard, Tornado, boom, and you can't farm with it anymore, or you can't do any damage, so very, very good for him. Oh, he misses the CS right there, unfortunately. That is the one problem with, he misses another one, unfortunately. That is the one problem with the Quas Wex, is that early on your damage is not nearly as good for last hitting as an Exort Invoker.
Yeah, he's doing okay. The Ember's doing much better than okay, though. Doubling him up 10-5 right now, and the Ember also has 3. Denies 2-minute rune coming up. Faith just going to let the big bad Centaur bang away on him for a bit. There's going to be a regen. Lynn will be happy to take that. At bottom, it's going to be Tide, who's now in a little bit of trouble. Demons doesn't have a point in a Fire Blast. He's not going to need it. Chilling Touch is just so good, and it's so easy to underestimate. How many times have we seen First Blood occur right in this vicinity of an offlaner trying to go get a rune, and then they just get caught? Sometimes it's First Blood, like right at the 0 mark when the rune spawns. Very often it's 2 and 4 minutes, but these rune spots, especially this one, seem to be like a major place to farm heroes if you happen to be in the right place at the right time.
Yep, and they're putting a lot of good harassment, and Injuly comes back to a lane, TP's back to a lane that he cannot get any experience in. I would have maybe even liked to see him just hold the TP and walk to the jungle and then wait until the lane was actually pushing, because now he's kind of wasted his time and he's wasted his gold and the TP scroll cooldown. So LV's doing a very good job managing this lane. Same thing though with the LGD, like their safe lane's pretty well managed. The difference is Centaur's not going up there, he's trying to do something elsewhere. I mean, he's still level 1 himself, but at least he hasn't given up a kill.
Gank attempt, Searing Chains do catch in flame. Very quick Tornado. There's the lift. Can Faith get the arrow? Yep, got him. Here comes the Centaur over to help. They just don't have the damage right now. Inflame very quick to respond with the Tornado, and Lynn in the vicinity to help out if needs be. But no follow-up. And yeah, this is going to be the tail of the tape, I think, on both sides. You've got 2 very, very important heroes that need at least a Blink Dagger and some sort of tier 2 boots, be it Tranks, be it Arcs. And they're not getting a lot. Tide did find level 2, and with this lane pushing a bit, Lynn is going to be happy to take a nice little waves full of experience. But I think in a lot of ways, hold that thought. Never mind. It's DDC. He's going to do some right-click damage in July, but that's it. I thought Demons was coming with him, but a little lag behind there. But I think in a lot of ways, the way the late part of the early game as well as the mid game plays out is going to depend on which of these 2 offlaners gets the most farm, because you're going to have the Anti-Mage and the Spectre both trying to farm away. You're going to have the supports trying to gank. In the mid, well, as of right now, it is favoring the Ember, but the Invoker will come online at some point. So these offlaners and their initiation potential, I think, is going to be really key on both sides.
Yeah, I'm watching Inflame, and he's missing a ton of CS all by himself. Sometimes you get into a game, maybe it's his first game of the day. Oh, another good kill, zoning out in July yet again. He's hit level 2, but is it worth it in the end? Probably not. It's Ancient Apparition tallies that one up. But yeah, I've been watching him, and he's just missing a ton of CS all by himself. And it's not mitigated by the fact of Yao's like in his face or anything. It's just, yeah, maybe he's actually stuck by the creeps right there. Look at this, he's stuck in mid. Oh. He has to use the Tornado to get out.
Lynn's there to help out. Inflame will go ahead and run. Yeah, he actually got himself sandwiched in between 4 creeps. I have never seen that in 3 years of casting.
Really? I've seen it like maybe twice in my life before that.
No, never seen it. I've seen it. I've seen a ping on Lynn. I'm surprised. Oh, he actually already used lift. Now behind that, you're the searing chains. But I've seen heroes get stuck in against like terrain and trees with creeps. I've seen that happen a bunch, but I've never seen just in lane, just 4 creeps just converge. Like, nope, you're stuck. Sorry.
Yes, it's pretty funny. Luckily, he's Invoker, and he's not like some other hero that, like a DK, for example, that just has to sit there.
Well, Siler pushing way deep and putting pressure on the Lin. He's got help from MMY as well. Hopefully, Lin is able to sniff this out. I mean, you have a anti-mage playing this deep, this confidently, this last hitting in front of between your tier 1 and tier 2. He has to know there's someone potentially meaning him harm over in the dark there. And he will go ahead and get a little bit of XP, though. He's getting on towards level 4. So, I mean, even though Siler is dominating the lane, he's coming back forward now. And can't blame him for feeling comfortable that with this next big wave, they're going to be able to engage. And go ahead.
Super well played by Inflame in mid, actually. Despite his kind of rough start with the last hitting, the Ember plus Potom combination is actually very strong. It's a pub-friendly combination, too. My God, I'll tell you, if there's ever that annoying roaming Potom like we're seeing here in pub games, which there always is with an Ember, it's very, very easy to set up arrows. And he actually got the searing chains. The arrow came from the left, and right before he got hit by the arrow, he cast his Ghost Walk. He was really, really fast.
Trink's now done on the Centaur. And like you said, it's going to take big plays like that. And I mean, and big plays like that are the reason why Inflame's caught up. He's now 24, 25, and 10 to the 29 and 6 of the Ember. So even though he was trailing behind and they've tried to pressure him multiple times, he's actually in a break even if you take into account the denies. And a lot of that does have to do with Lin and Demons. They've been in the right place at the right time, never letting him feel alone and out on an island out here. Faith's still trying to be annoying as this roaming Potom, but we'll see what, if anything, he can find.
Yeah, once you get the phase boots up, it becomes very, very easy to last hit in mid on this Invoker, whether you're Quas Wex or Exort. So he's doing much better now, and he's on top of his game with these Ghost Walks. Already has it pre-invoked, so he's ready for that. It does cost a lot of mana, but he's actually going to ferry out himself a mana potion too. So bottom lane, the Spectre's at 47 CS. It's a little bit under what the Anti-Mage is, but that's to be expected because one, Anti-Mage has much better attack animation. It's much quicker. And Spectre actually has bad animation. It's very slow. But the thing is that Spectre can come online in the sense to help out your team, whereas Anti-Mage really can't. So yeah, LV has that going for them.
I'd say the Spectre, a good way to differentiate is like the Anti-Mage can help out with positioning and items if he wants to go more of a mid-game build. And, and sometimes you'll see that. Sometimes you'll see Anti-Mages go pure Vlad's Manta and skip Battle Fury entirely. It's not all that common. Most of the time you are going to see the Battle Fury come out. But the Spectre, no matter what she decides to build, be it a Radiance Rush or be it just massing bracers, whatever, she can haunt in and use Spectral Dagger to help out in the fight regardless. There's a Haste Rune picked up by Yao, and he's going to look to put this bad boy to use. Lin could be in a lot of trouble here, and he actually hasn't used it yet. They have a ward, and they're going to see this Demons coming over. And there's going to be a TPN. They sniffed this out. Yao gets the Searing Chains on the Demons. There's going to be an arrow that comes through the trees. That's an easy kill. Heard a stomp from Lin. Not sure what it was about. Irrelevant, though, as LGD finds their way onto the board finally. Make it 2-1.
Yeah, really nice ward there. And he's actually, there's a smoke, too, coming out from LGD. So getting very aggressive. This is going to be the 4 Protect 1 that we expected from this lineup. Anti-Mage just farming. These heroes can fight very early on. And the 4 Searing Chains, so it's a 3-second duration, which is very, very easy for these long-range arrows to connect to get 5-second arrows. So I like this decision by Ember. Normally you would never see this, but because he is with the Potom and they want to gank and roam early, I think it makes sense. In Flame, he's got a trail. I don't know if he knows this yet, though.
Don't think he does. They're going to try to dive the Tide, and they're going to find themselves in some very unfortunate territory. Tide's going to end up dropping, but In Flame caught from behind, does invoke the Ghost Walk, but doesn't help a lot when you're under the enemy tier 1. ZYF now.
He needs to ult and go top. Yeah, there you go.
Good call. And look, actually, ZYF's now being banged away by Siler. He's got a Mana Void. He's going to use it. Doesn't get the kill, though. So still a good call. At least he got out of trouble.
Yeah, at least he got a. That would have been, oh my god, devastating if Anti-Mage of all heroes gets a solo experience kill on the Spectre.
That had the Han away already.
Yeah, exactly. That would have been devastating. So thank God for him that that didn't happen. But yeah, no, the Mana Void or Mana Break is actually just pitiful damage at level 1.
Yeah.
And actually doing tons of damage to DDC. Here comes his Stomp. Starler's going to take the Cold Feet proc, but he's actually pretty tanky, as he does have some level in stats. Can't get the blink off, actually.
Yep. I thought he was going to blink 2 or 3 times. I was even dancing the camera up lane to see if there were any auto attacks that were able to reach him from distance, but nope. That is a very, very important kill. Just heard a Stampede, not sure what about.
I think it's for bottom, so some extra damage on the bottom, but bottom TP'd away with the aggression from ZYF. By the way, ZYF went from an early Vanguard. Had he not had that Vanguard, he 100% dies there to that that Anti-Mage. So I kind of like the pickup, actually. The fact that he has it this early is very effective. And this does signal that he actually wants to get active a little bit earlier on.
I think that's the right call to make.
I do too.
Like, I mean, just with your lineup, just looking at your lineup compared to LGD's, LGD basically has the Ember Spirit who can come in and isolate targets, which is awesome. You have a great combination in the Rubik and the Mirana, and barring Rubik stealing some big spells and making big plays with them, they're a known quantity. And then, of course, you have Ravage that you fear. But other than that, you just flat out do have superior team fight in the late early game and the mid game. So why not put it to use? Why in the world would you make it a coin flip over who can farm the most and who can gank the best? Like, there's no reason to do that when you know you have an advantage at a certain window of opportunity in the game. Yeah,
no, that's a really good point. I totally agree with that. So he's going to be able to fight and come on early. His Haunt is up in 3 seconds. So that means a team fight if LV are ready. And it's always going to be pretty much 5v4 because Anti-Mage can come in, but doesn't really want to. Like I said, the earlier you get that that Battle Fury, it's just exponentially better. 30 seconds sooner is, exponentially better than later. Oh, he actually just grabs it right in front of their face. His arrow coming, hits the creep instead.
You got to feel for LGD. They're going to get at least one. They don't get ZYF. Demons, a sacrificial lamb here. He'll be happy to give his body to make sure ZYF stays safe. That is just unbelievably bad luck. He was farming this camp. Would have been meat. They would have walked up, gotten a here, and their smoke would have broken. They would have pinged right here, and then they would have turned around and killed him. Instead, Spectral daggers to the low ground, walks down, goes, oh, there you are, walks back and leaves. That's just really bad timing. Now, Searing Chain's going to catch 2. Yao eats an Ice Blast as well. There's going to be a follow-up, and Yao gets a double kill, but ZYF coming in as well. So they end up getting the Centaur and the Ancient Apparition, but it did cost them their Ember Spirit. Still, pretty sure they'll be happy with that. The Centaur being able to hold him down in any way is a very big deal. He's just not that effective without his Blink Dagger. He can only really help out initiation that others are doing. And now Inflame gets an Invis, gets Eyes on Faith, and yeah, he's going to stalk him. Stalker. Fire Blast, EMP, dead Mirana. 6-5.
A nice kill right there, and actually, he's very close to his Orchids. I thought he was going to be really late with this, but has really bounced back as far as CS, and if they had a Sentry there, I think ZYF gets like 2 more kills on top of that. Gets a triple kill probably. But they just couldn't find him. The Rubik was being tracked down by the trail of the Spectral Dagger, but the Potom ulti is actually a pretty damn good duration, level 1. Actually, it's static, I should say that. It's 15 seconds at all levels. But yeah, so nice invis there. Didn't have any detection. And it's unfortunate. They smoked up there, but they didn't expect him to be there that close. And he was only like half HP when he initiated.
Now, Tide actually kind of failed to stack the Ancients. He was doing them, and now he's falling back. And he, excuse me, wants to make sure he keeps ZYF off of the tower. Tell you what, man, we've been casting so much, we both got frogs in our throat.
I know.
Oh, man. Anyway, it's 13 minutes, and it's a tight one. And by tight, I do mean tight. We're talking less than 250 gold separating the teams, less than 1,000 experience separating the teams. And this could be how this goes for quite some time. There's an arrow to follow on Lin. And they get the kill. Flame Guard not taken off because he actually did manage to rim it away. And now he's going to take himself a nice stack. In the meantime, that's a 14-minute Battle Fury up on the Anti-Mage. Already had treads as well, so this is excellent farm for Sylar. In fact, 14 minutes, he's got 100+ CS, man. He is huge.
Yeah, it's actually surprising that the net worth is actually higher for the Spectre. Just because he's been active and still has 90 CS, 91 CS under his belt. That's really, really high for a Spectre. Like I said, normally you get under some aggression. You don't have, farming capabilities as good as the Anti-Mage with regard to the Blink. So it's actually very impressive that the Spectre's kept up with him, but Sylar is just going to take off now.
Arrow got in flame. Ancient Apparition. I thought he was going to fire back here. But anyway. But yeah, I mean, it's when you look at the item progression, it's actually quite high in a lot of heroes. The Anti-Mage is in great shape again. Tread's Battle Fury done, 14 minutes in. Centaur, not so much, but like you said, the Invoker in Flame, getting very close to an Orchids now. You take a look at the Spectre. That Vanguard came out very early, now only 1,000 gold short of the Relic, if that's the direction she wants to go. In July is taking some big stacks with the help of his teammates. And Yao is just about done with his Perseverance after going Drums, Phase, and everything else. There's an Ice Blast that catches them. Caught 2, and they want to follow. In Flame is thinking about it.
That was really nice heads up by him. He knew that they were taking this deck, and actually Ancient Apparition gets like 3 big creeps. So it kind of sucks that they stole that, but get some good farm out of it for the Ancient Apparition. He's going to need it.
Smoke of 3 across mid. They want to head to bottom. Target going to be Lin. Lin is about 400 or 500 gold away from his Blink Dagger. This would be a good kill. Give them a little more time before the Blink's there. And yep, here's the Ember Mirana combination. There are 3 creeps. Yeah, he's just going to wait. There's the Searing Chains. Arrows on the money. MMY right there. And he actually stole Hoof Stomp, which is not a bad spell for him to steal at all. Not, you know, it's got an okay mana cost to it, but it's pretty powerful for a Rubik. If he can telekinesis someone towards him, pull him down, and then follow up with a Hoof Stomp, that's actually a deceptively long amount of time someone is disabled. Well,
and it's a really good stun duration for even just a level 2.
Yeah.
It's 2.25. Very, very nice. And yeah, it combos quite nicely with the telekinesis. So LGD is doing a good job about moving around and creating space for Sylar. This is exactly how they need to be playing it. Sylar, my guess is goes for the Vlads first. I think it's going to help him farm just a little bit faster. He's pretty much all on his own as far as, you know, stacking stuff and farming camps and staying alive. So he needs that sustainability. I think it would be good for him.
Yeah, it looks like I'm actually. I think LGD is going to get a lot more aggressive now. The Blink came out on Tide, so they're going to be able to look for a big win sometime soon. Inflame desperately needs his Orchid. That's going to be such an important item for them, being able to deal with the Ember more easily, being able to take Tide out of a Ravage if he's quick, and so on and so on. And Yao's actually quite large. Perseverance done. I mean, at this stage of the game, usually you don't see the Ember getting that high unless he's gotten just way out of hand in the laning phase. He does have a fair amount of kills, which is a big part of it. 5, 1, and 2 for him. So he's been a part of 5 of the 7. Or actually, he's been a part of all 7 kills that LGD has netted and has actually tallied 5 all on his own. DDC could end up dead here. Yeah, I think he's dead. Searing Chains, Ice Blast off, but yeah, he's dead. Easy kill.
Huh. Well, in the meantime, Sylar's soloing Roche, and they're not even they're helping him in the sense that Faith is actually just staying far away and just tossing arrows, just in case they have vision elsewhere, which they do. So that was actually really smart of him. It was not spotted. And now in July with his Blink, who does have a Blink on Tide, blinks in to just assist. So this is going to be a very nice Roshan attempt. LGD is playing very deliberate. It looks like they just have a plan at every given time, and it's really working off and paying off.
No, I agree with you. This feels... It's like they're almost making it look easy, and I don't mean that as a slight to LV. It's like when you watch anyone who's just at the top of their game on a given day. Doesn't matter if it's a piano player, doesn't matter if it's a professional athlete, if your chosen favorite sport. Whenever they're on, it looks easy. It looks like they're just deciding what to do, and it's as easy as it would be for you and I to walk and get a drink of water, you know? It's that simple. And that's really how it's feeling for LGD right now. I mean, they've given up some deaths, they certainly have, and LV is looking good in some ways as well. But right now, LGD is 100% in command of the pace of the game, and LV needs to get some of that swagger back. They need to get some of that momentum back for themselves.
Yep, and Sylar with the Vlad to help them do that. Definitely is going to go for the Manta. It's really good against, well, I mean, it's a core item on him, but it's also specifically good against the Orchids on Invoker. Lots of pings coming out. Looks like LV wants to fight.
Oh, 2-man stomp, Ice Path to follow, MMY. There's going to be a Ravage, though, from In July. Completely turn this fight around. They do manage to bring down Yao, and now Faith with no mana just runs it in the Roche pit. Is he going to be forgotten about? I think so. Sylar looking to find a way out. I was wondering if he's going to re-engage. He may end up dead here. And this is exactly what we were talking about. The Ravage did a nice job, but now Yao actually bought back for this. He better make it count. They better get ZYF. And they do. 1 mana void, enough to clean him up. As Yao now going to catch demons through the trees with the Searing Chains. 1 Remnant, a couple of auto attacks. Down he goes, make it 2 for 2. with a buyback, but Anti-Mage isn't done. He's right on Lin's tailpipe. And nice blink from Lin. Siler's going to follow him. And he's actually going to break off the pursuit. I'm a little surprised by that. I think he could have gotten the kill. Instead, he's going to be cold snap down half his health, but he will be able to withdraw to the safety of Injuly and MMY. So at the end, it ends up 9-10, but again, LGD did have to buy back on their Ember Spirit, so that costs his item development a little bit. They will, however, most likely get this tower for free. Ancient Apparition ulti on the way. No one low enough to die to it, but certainly might scare the hell out of him. Actually, they do manage to get...
They're going to get Sylar.
Sylar, yeah. And Sentry goes down. Can they catch him? A couple more auto attacks? Nope. Walked out of range. And MMY makes it away as well. But that's a very, very valuable return kill on them. ZY, the fact that ZYF died meant they had to get that Anti-Mage, otherwise it was just going to be a flat win for LGD, even with the buyback.
No, I will say that it seems that the Chinese really play Invoker better than the Western players. Like, at least Quaswex, because any other player, after that great initiation with the Hoof Stomp on 2, would have just Tornadoed EMP'd. But he knew that that would be counterproductive, because they were already stunned, so why tornado them? It's almost like using a target that you know is getting gone on. Actually, I missed that, but Invoker gets what I presume to be an easy kill on them.
Yep, it was a blink. They just basically blinked with the Centaur, blew him up with double edge, and Invoker cleaned it up. Easy peasy.
Yeah, but most Invoker, a lot of Invoker players would have just been like, oh, Tornado EMP, but it actually didn't work out, or it would have been worse, I should say, if he did that.
And Inflame going to reveal himself. The tier 1 at bottom does drop. And the Ember going to be caught with a Tornado. No EMP to follow. There will be a Haunt, though. And, yeah, did he actually come in here? No,
he went to mid.
Okay. Oh, yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, I thought he came into one of the front illusions. I was saying, man, he really wants to fight. But it's 12-10. LB counter-punching quite well. And what we've seen is the fact that, you know, LGD, they tried to reset that last engagement near Roshan with the Ravage, and it was okay. But for the most part, LV was able to kind of deal with them despite being at a huge disadvantage of being caught and the fight not being taken on the terms they wanted. And with all of this over the last, I don't know, 5 minutes, LV has cut the lead, which was honestly getting out of hand, almost 7,500 in favor of LGD. It's now back to nil.
Did he just... Oh, wait. Did he get the kill on Anti-Mage again? Did I miss that completely? He got a kill on the Anti-Mage. I feel so stupid. I normally don't miss like big kills like that. But he totally just got a kill on the Anti-Mage. That's why he haunted in, I'm assuming.
Yeah,
that's massive. So. I was like, wait, I was like, is there a Necrolite in the game? Why is Anti-Mage's respawn timer so long? Wow, that is massive. And he has a completed Radiance with what? 1,000 gold on top of that? Man, this Spectre is doing good for himself. ZYF, man. I told you.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's not just him. This is a legitimate team effort. And if you check the graphs, I mean, it's a little deceptive. Like, the gold was at about 5K, and the experience is at about 7,500, which is quite a lot for a 22-minute game. And they've managed to turn it around and make it a brand new game, but it's a little worse than a brand new game. Is right now, the Anti-Mage should be pulling ahead of the Spectre, and that's not happening. It's the opposite.
Yep, so 1-3-0 here for the Anti-Mage. Obviously, just going to need this... this Manta, but God, it's really scary. We've talked about this all the time. A Spectre with this much net worth is like, in reality, that whatever it is plus like, I don't know, 3,000-4,000 at least.
Yeah, basically, it's like I would say it's like a factor of 0.04 or 0.4 or something. Like take his total, then add 40%, and that's how it feels.
Sure, yeah, that sounds about right. And Flame finds Yao.
Nice blast on the way. There, oh, they got him. Big kill. And MMY now next on the list is going to be the Telekinesis, but ZYF is so tanky, having gone with that Vanguard early, he's able to just face tank, and hell, he can initiate on his own. Arrow just barely misses Lin. Now Lin comes back in, multicast from Demons. In July is going to hit a nice Ravage. Can Sylar finish it? No, there's a Tornado. And now he will be able to finally finish off In Flame. Sylar trying to make a run for it. 2 seconds until he can blink. In July just going to run interference, but ZYF right on him. And the Spectral Dagger shows where he went. It doesn't look like they're that worried about it. They just want to continue to chase down the tide. ZY get this kill as well. That's going to take him to 4-1-5. He has exploded. The tower is a shambles. And this game potentially completely turned on its head as LGD has given up 4 now for 1, which was just the Invoker. Big change in gold, about 2,000 overall, and gigantic change in XP as well. Call it 38.
I wonder if Sylar misclicked there because there was an Ogre and the Invoker right next to each other, and Ogre was completely out of mana. Invoker was opposite. He had full mana, and he actually mana voided the mana break, whatever it's called, or mana void the Invoker rather than the Ogre. I think he gets an instant double kill if he goes for the Ogre instead. But I mean, they still get the kill on Invoker. But man, this Spectre, and also
big kill bottom. They managed to catch DYF playing way too aggressive. Yao got the Searing Chains on him, and he had teammates behind him. They followed it up with the stuns. They needed that. Now they're going to reinitiate. Coming back in onto Yao. There's the EMP. Lift onto the Centaur. There's going to be an Ice Blast, though. That gets a kill on MMY, and Yao's not out of the woods yet either. Gets off Searing Chains, but he's dead. Inflame cleans him up, and Faith should be fine. The Ice Blast damage taking him down, but not far enough. Sylar, in the meantime, is pushing in top. And there's going to be a reaction from Demons. That should be enough to keep him from putting any additional pressure onto the tower. So, yeah, they end up losing 2 there. And another big change in favor of LV. Even though they got the Spectre, we can see, like, they're still crawling up above that Meridian line.
In July.
Now in July, caught by Lin and Inflame. And, yeah, he's dead. They are just picking them apart. Just anytime they separate at all, they're making them pay for it.
Inflame with this Blink Dagger, too, has just upped his level of aggression. Just all over the place, can be a lot more aggressive with this. And he has just playing Invoker so well. Just knowing exactly what spells to cast at the right time. There was a big surge of farm here for the Anti-Mage. I don't think he got a big kill. He got 1 kill, okay. And he must have got some stacks too, because he just got a lot more net worth. And actually completes his Manta style around the 26-minute mark. So not too bad for him. Those 3 deaths actually really hurt him, but doing a lot better now than he was like 5 minutes ago.
And I really want to see where he goes from here. I mean, this is pretty standard stuff. Does he go hard? Does he go BKB? Does he even think about... Butterfly would be a little premature right now. It seems like it would be a little odd to just rush that at this moment. Yeah, I think he needs to tank up. Butterfly or, excuse me, Heart or BKB. Whichever he prefers, but he needs to get in gear because right now with that Vanguard, the Spectre is feeling very, very tanky. Roche is going to be up in a matter of about 30 seconds or so. And that's likely to be our next big battleground.
I actually think BKB would be really good for him. I know you want to get Heart, but you're going to have things working against you. You're going to have, first of all, a lot of damage that I don't think makes... I don't think the Heart does really that much to it. Like I think they're going to cut through that HP anyway. I think you want the magic immunity. There's a lot of magic damage. What I was going to say, too, is this... Oh, Spectre Hunt, actually.
Yep, Tornado EMP. He got silenced. The Orchid put to use. What a kill. That's the global presence we were talking about, and just watching it develop. Anti-Mage is just heading top to farm. The Invoker, I don't know if he was meaning to, if he was camping and waiting. He was sitting right about here. And as soon as he saw him, he pinged him. As soon as he pinged, Haunt went off, and he followed it with a Tornado EMP Orchid, and that's a dead Anti-Mage. They have some really nice tools to deal with that Anti-Mage. And don't forget the power of Alacrity on the Spectre. My goodness.
Yeah. It's pretty nice. And since they have so much magic damage, too, anytime these heroes get hit with an Ice Vortex from Ancient Apparition, that's 30% extra increased magic damage. Not to mention the
down
slow.
At bottom, Yao has the Remnant out, and the Moonlight Shadow used just to get the rest of LGD back to safety. In the meantime, ZYF takes top tier 1 all on his lonesome. And suddenly, it seemed like this was a close game, and it seemed like LV was a little bit ahead. Now it's 20-12. And they have, yeah, they've exceeded the largest lead in the game thus far. Just over 4,000 gold. The experience is on a huge cliff face up. And I don't know what LGD can do. Like, they obviously not losing your Anti-Mage is a big first step. But the Spectre is now on a trajectory for critical mass, man. And we've seen that. We've read this book. We know the last chapter. Spectre gets ahead like this. It is so hard to ever catch anyone up. Doesn't matter if it's Anti-Mage or anyone else.
Yeah, it's actually really good against Anti-Mage because it's a hero that normally feels very safe. Feels like he can just blink away. If he gets Orchids, he can just Manta. But even then, just the global presence being able to get on right on top of that hero anytime you want with the Haunt up. It's very, very effective. And actually, Inflame is still camping up here. He actually blinks away. He's going to go for a BKB. And he actually has it in about 1,100 gold or so. So it's still pumping out some items, despite him being a Quaswex Invoker. One thing I see Quaswex Invokers do a lot is they get this core item, which is the Orchids. They try to gank a lot, but they miss out on a lot of farm. And they don't progress with their items too much. So Inflame's doing a really good job about keeping up that farm.
Speaking of item progression, Tide bypassing the mechanism and going straight for a pipe. He's almost got the bad boy done as well. And no mech on their side that I've seen anyway, unless they've got it stashed somewhere. Yeah, no mech. And the pipe, I think, is a really nice call. They do have a fair amount of magic damage to try to cope with. But this is where things get scary for me, and this is what we were talking about. Your mid-game advantage. You know you can fight at this stage of the game. You know you can take it to them. If they start grouping as 5 and take a fight or 2, it could spiral, like death spiral, so quick. Especially if they kill Sylar every time they group. Arrow shot, not going to hit anything.
Yep, and in addition to whatever Spectre can do, he can farm a lot faster. Okay, he can farm pretty much just about as fast as Anti-Mage right now with the Radiance, except he gets into a fight instantly, whereas Anti-Mage has to blink there, TP there, kind of join the fight like any other normal hero. But Spectre with this Haunt, like I said, just jumps right into a fight immediately. So kind of like similar to like a Wisp plus X combo. Like that hero just gets farmed, but can still pressure globally.
Moonlight Shadow used by LGD. And they're going to go head hunting. ZYF happy to go take a lane's worth of farm. They're probably going to head towards him. Let's see how quickly LV is able to anticipate this. Everyone's missing, they know it. In fact, no, they just ping it out. Do they have a ward? Or is that just good game sense? Looks like DDC could be in trouble. Spectre, in the meantime, is cleared out. But yeah, he just placed this ward. I guess, I think that was him that ping. Maybe I'm wrong. But, yeah, sick game sense if so. Sylar now, look at this. Taking damage from illusions like crazy. They are going to engage, and DDC's dead man. But that's a lot of time they spend as 5, and a lot of time when that's the only thing they got back. Now they're going to be able to Deafening Blast through Sylar. Disarmed, has to Manta and blink away. Here comes the Haunt. ZYF wants to pursue him up the river. In the meantime, Injuly and MMY are going to make a run for it. Let's see. There's an arrow that actually doesn't hit anything or anyone. Sylar with the blink, able to get himself back to safety. Injuly burning down. ZYF ran right past him. If he had gotten off just one more auto attack, he might have killed him with the Radiance Burn. As it stands, the Mirana does end up dying to the Ogre Magi, as he was apparently trying to retreat as well. Ends up being a 1-for-1, and you lose an Ancient Apparition for that Mirana. Poor Mirana's got nothing. Her net worth is the absolute pits, man. Less than 2,000 overall net worth. That's not even like where you started. You have somehow found a way to dig a deeper hole.
Well, I don't know. I would be pretty happy about starting with 1,900 gold, but yeah, that kind of sucks for her. Has an earn at the very least, but yeah, really not much more than that. She's a 5 position, so kind of sucks. MMY, what does he have? Does he have at least a blink? Okay, he's got at least a blink, so that's good for him. Very nice play, though, by Injuly. He got out of there very quickly. He was actually just about to get touched by the Radiance Burn, but since the Radiance Burn comes in like chunks, or like little ticks and not like constant dot damage, he was able to blink out in time.
Just to be clear, when I said where you started, I meant simply he cratered. Was trying to describe it.
I know.
I know you know. I don't know the Twitch chat knows, and I don't want 15 tweets about it. So please don't. Anyway, it's 21-13, and LV is still just in utter command of this and continuing to build on it. Let's talk about LGD's path back to relevancy. Yao is actually building a BKB. I mean, he kind of needs it. We've seen how on the spot Inflame has been in terms of purging his Flame Guard using the Tornado. But this is going... I don't know that they have enough time for him. He's almost got it now. I feel like they need damage out of him, like right now, not later.
Well, maybe the Anti-Mage is going to build damage. I don't know. I do think that BKB... Yeah, I like this from Sylar. I really think he needs a BKB. I think this is very necessary. And yeah, it kind of sucks on your Ember to want to build a BKB, but at the same time, look at this lineup. They kind of have to. Otherwise, they just get blown up once the Spectre haunts. Like, just too much magic damage.
Sylar is going to move in with Yao. They're going to try to take this Roshan quickly. Let's see if LV can figure it out. They just shot an Ice Blast in a few seconds ago and saw that it was clear. And yep, there's a Tornado. Busted. And one's going to go out. Here comes Lin. And Sylar uses the BKB for the first time. He's pecking away at Lin. In the meantime, up at the high ground in July, forced back. So as this Ravage, Lin having his BKB kited out, as is the Anti-Mage. So those are going to be down on both sides, and they may feel confident to go in here now. And nope, never mind. ZYF being pursued. Mantis out of the Searing Chains. Arrow comes in. There's an Ice Blast and a Fire Blast. Yao forced the BKB. He just bought it. There's a nice Ravage. Got 3. ZYF the target, and they will be able to bring him down. Sylar, though, gives his body. In July, next on the list. It's going to be a 2 for 3 when he lands with a thunk. And they almost got Yao with that.
Yeah.
Wow, they almost, I didn't even see that till I started to scroll up. That's a double kill for the Invoker. And it stinks to lose your Spectre, but it is totally okay to lose your Spectre if you're getting the Anti-Mage, the Tide, and a Rubik, and more importantly, a double kill on this Invoker, whose influence on this game cannot be denied. Very well played by him thus far. And following the, yeah, it actually looks like it kind of leveled out in terms of development with that fight, so a little closer to even than might have met the eye. Want to see who's going to end up getting this Roshan, though. He is low.
A really nice Ravage there from Tide. I think he used the pipe at the very beginning of the fight. So I was like wondering why it was off cooldown, but I believe, yeah, at the very beginning, like right when the tornado hit them in the pit there, he used it. So pretty even fight. I think I think the Inflame. Sorry, I think that in July, there's so many ins and Julys and Junes.
I know.
It's hard to keep track sometimes. But he really kind of saved that fight there, so nicely done for him. Some counter-warding of counter-wards comes out from Faith. No gold, unfortunately, for those, but no, the BKBs are making a big difference. Like, I think that they don't have BKBs. They completely just don't even come close to winning a fight. So now they have the BKBs. They can stop the bleeding a little bit in the fights. Once they start getting raw damage now, maybe they can start taking this. Haunt is ready in 3 seconds. You expect him, he's going to use it.
Up, Faith caught from behind. That's a cold snap. They know what's going on in Roshan. In the meantime, Scepter's done. Mega kill streak for Inflame as he finishes off Mirana. Siler still wants this. He is taking a long time by himself. This is so chancy. There's going to be the Stampede. He's going to blink out, leave his team to fight on their own. There's going to be a Mana Void, though, and Lin in some trouble. The Invoker ended up dropping from the Mana Void. Haunt comes in. BKB's up on both sides. ZYF is actually being chopped down fairly impressively. Siler there. And, yeah, they do manage to get him. Len comes back in. It's a beautiful two-man stomp. Double kill. And they lose their two most important cores, but more importantly, so does LGD. Len re-engaging into that fight with a two-man stomp, managing to win it for them and forcing a buyback out of the Anti-Mage as well.
Top tower is under attack.
And without a doubt, I think you have to declare that a win, but problem is, it's probably still going to be a Roshan for LGD. With that buyback, yeah, Siler really wants this Aegis, wants it desperately. Ice Blast on the way. Catches him. They got to decide, can they fight? Does look like they can. The buyback just makes it a mathematical impossibility, so they're just going to have to take it. Then Anti-Mage paid his gold for this.
Yep, that's a very good way of putting it. They conceded this, but I think they were okay with it. If they really were worried about him buying back to get this Aegis, and if they really thought it was going to be that impactful, I think the Invoker would have bought back and contested it, but because he had it available, but he didn't want to. They're like, whatever, you've earned it, take it. I think that last fight just showed that Spectre's mortal, and that Anti-Mage just trucked him. Like, did a lot of damage to him. He haunted very late, actually. I was wondering why he was waiting so long with it. By the time he haunted in, the Invoker was dead. Like, he lost so much mana from the Anti-Mage with the illusions, and then the Mana Void. Basically, once you get half mana onto him, he's probably already half HP at that time, too. So that you effectively only have to do half damage to Invoker to kill him. And the Haunt came out way too late from LV.
Very much agree. Spectre's gone back to farming, though. And I think it's time for Spectre. What do you think? BKB or Butterfly?
Well, I actually think Heart would probably be really good for him.
Yeah?
Once
he goes straight up health?
Yeah, he's already got the Manta, so I love that. I see a lot of Spectres go for Heart before Manta, and I think it's a mistake. So I already like that he's gone Manta first. Maybe you don't go Heart because you already have this Vanguard, and it's kind of awkwardly just staring at you with that weird... It doesn't have like an ugly face on that shield. It looks so stupid. I hate it.
Never saw it as a face, but yes, you're right. I see the eyes and kind of like a big nose on it.
Yeah, it just looks goofy. I don't know. That's what I do in my time. I look at items and try to make faces out of them or something. But yeah, I don't know. I think he needs to tank up. Like I said, that last fight showed that he was mortal. As long as he tanks up, that pure damage of the dispersion's really going to have its full effectiveness. So it's hard to say. Heart or... And I don't think you really want to go BKB. Maybe it's necessary. Again, it's hard to say, but I would say Heart, personally.
Well, LGD playing ultra aggressive, has some nice wards down in the enemy jungle. And they had rotated pretty much everyone down to bottom. And they're going to end up taking the tier 1 and perhaps the tier 2. Yao's not there. Does he have a Remnant? He sure does. So you can come in at any point. And if they're going to get there soon, their glyphs expended. They're going to go. There's going to be a stomp on a Siler, Tornado EMP as well. Not going to catch him. He's able to blink. And he comes back in and gets the last hit on the tower even. Hoof Stomp stolen once again by the Rubik. Rubik have mobility on him? Yeah, he's got a Blink Dagger, so Blink and Hoof Stomp's pretty legit. I mean, you're basically a poor man Centaur.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Yep, can be good. Can be good. Not, like I said, I was totally incorrect by thinking this was a great Rubik game in the sense of being able to steal something. Although if you stole Haunt, that would be pretty badass. It's not like you're doing much damage, but the confusion factor would be there. Yeah.
Oh, for sure. Well, LGD suddenly taking some fights, but it's not stopping the pain train of LV, as you can see. The gold at best is leveling off, but slightly ticking up. So ZYF continuing to add to his inventory. He's got 3,800 gold. I really think I like a butterfly here. Because, I mean, the anti-mage, is he going to wait and see and then maybe get an MKB if he has to? Like, does he feel like he has enough punching power? Or does he go straight up survivability for himself and let the RNG sort itself out? Demons caught. And there's going to be the stampede just to make sure everyone makes it home safely. This might be tantamount to a concession of the tier 2, though. They really want to fight with stampede up. They really need to fight with everything up. And Siler right there in front, leading the charge. There's an arrow from Faith. Barely misses Demons. Yeah, and this tower's down already to a quarter. I don't think they can fight. Or if they do, it's going to be coming in after the tower dies.
Yeah, I think Butterfly would be fine, actually. I think this is one of those instances where a large majority of the damage, at least onto Spectre, isn't necessarily magical. It's like Sylar's attacks.
BKB. It's on the courier.
Okay, this is a very safe and I think smart decision. Oh, MMY went out to Illusion there. Actually gets caught by the Tornado. Are they going to focus him? They are.
Yep, they followed up and he's down in a hurry. Sylar is actually fighting with an Illusion. Injuly's in the middle of this. Injuly has Ravage, waits for the BKBs. He's going to die. Should have used it. Now ZYF going to extricate. There's going to be an Ice Blast. Comes in, but now Sylar caught. And, oh, he actually backs off of it. They still end up getting his Aegis. Lynn and Faith were trading blows. It ends up being a 3-for-0 or a 2-for-0 with an Aegis, depending on how you want to phrase it. Either way, that's a big one fight for LV once again. And they can't afford to lose much more momentum than this. Like, they have to keep it rolling. Otherwise, as mentioned, the efficiency of LV has just been keeping them climbing and climbing and climbing. They have to keep the pressure up and have to get that one critical win you're always looking for against any kind of a hard farming Radiance hero.
Yeah, Spectre took way less damage with that BKB active. If you saw the anti-mage was just hitting him the whole team fight throughout that BKB, but didn't really do much damage because the mana burn doesn't work. So, yeah, I think this is the right decision, actually. And it kind of sucks going this early and the damage isn't going to be there. Oh, speaking of damage, I'm incorrect because he just did a lot to Sylar with those Desolate procs. That's what I'm talking about. The Manta's so good with that Desolate. And I'm still impressed with just Inflame's ability to keep himself relevant in this game, despite being a Quaswex Invoker. Like, he's a good 2,000 above the Ember Spirit. Oh yeah,
he's been farming very well. Looks like we're gonna have a breather, so let's look at the standout performers. 10-3 on Inflame, great game for him. 10-5 on Yell on the Ember Spirit, so not bad on his side either. 7-4 and 12 for the Spectre, and right here's the point of separation. 5-6-1 on Sylar. So even though Sylar has been getting more active lately, he has been dying as much as he's been contributing to any kills across the map. That's going to have to cease, or he's going to continue to fall behind. Has picked up his Eagle Song, so wants to go Butterfly. If you're in ZYF's shoes, do you see this and react with a Butterfly of your own, or do you see this and react with an MKB?
I don't think you need MKB. I think you just need to tank up and let your Dispersion do the work, do the nasty work in the fights. I mean, it's pure damage. It's going to destroy. So, yeah. And also, there's so many other spells that are doing damage to anti-mage when he doesn't have BKB up. And he's used his BKB 3 times. It's down to a 7-second duration. So
Faith.
I think you kite out BKBs and Faith is, yeah, very, very dead.
Caught him with the Orchid. Easy peasy. Didn't even have to scythe him. That is a Scythe of Ice done on Inflame, by the way. And that's a big threat to the anti-mage. Huge threat to the anti-mage, as a matter of fact. If they're able to hex him and get the damage on him, it doesn't matter what items he builds. It doesn't matter what evasion he has. It just is irrelevant when he's hexed.
Dude, this Ogre has a Blink Ags. We haven't really talked too much about demons, but man, that is so useful. Oh my god.
The Tide Hunter going for his Refresher. Demons is in the realm right there with him. I mean, hell, the Ancient Apparition's not hurting either, man. He's got an Ags and a Force Staff. And now Sylar's going to be caught. Trying to Manta. They're right on top of him, though. Hex isn't enough. It is! Great kill. He's down for 95 seconds, and he does not have buyback. That is, he's down for the count. And they're going to figure that out momentarily. Just that one kill is equivalent to a 1,400 gold exchange in terms of overall, man. That is so huge.
God, a Shiva's now up on the Centaur. Man, these guys just don't stop their item progression.
Dude.
They're even if they're fishing for kills, they're constantly getting creep kills in the midst of it too, and that's a big deal. BKB Blink Shivas for the Centaur, he stayed relevant. Demons with the Blink Ags on the Ogre can still buff up these heroes even though through their BKB it'll still stay active, which is very important, especially on CYF.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Here we go, going to work on the tower. Let's see if they want to actually contest this. They only have 4. As DDC's elsewhere, they're going to be okay with that. A nice blast. From further away, off the time's much better from closer. And yeah, they're just going to give this away. Without Anti-Mage, they're not competent to fight at all.
I mean, they're barely competent to fight with Anti-Mage, so yeah, this is... And as you mentioned too, God, Aghanim's Force for DDC, not joining the fights because the further away he is, the more effective that ulti is as far as its AoE. It becomes very, very massive if you're very far away.
Yep. Well, the item progression for Ember still continues to roll on. He's not far from his Daedalus now, has 2,600 gold and the crit stick already up. In July, actually has up his Oblivion Staff and his Perseverance, so it's going to be a refresher for him soon. Roshan, speaking of refresh, will be respawning 30 seconds from now. And this next Roche fight is going to be big, one way or the other. If LGD can sneak it, great for them, but I'm fairly sure that we're going to see LV be diligent about not allowing them to do that. And yeah, they're already poking their nose in, trying to find a way to snag it and pull it out.
Yep, and it will be a heart now next for the Spectre. It got rid of his Vanguard, and is actually going to have a heart very, very soon. And I'm just going to mention one other thing. Oh yeah, but it slipped my mind. But this BKB is dwindling down. It's okay, full butterfly here. So the Anti-Mage is effectively 6-slotted.
Yep. Finished that a minute or two ago, actually.
Oh, okay.
He finished it right before he died, actually. Sunstrike hits him. Does a fair amount of damage, but not gonna be killing him or nothing. Up atop, we can see Illusions helping to push in, and the Forge Spirits doing their job as well. And this is important. Very important against an Anti-Mage. Keep the lanes pushed. Don't let him split push. Keep the pressure up and allow yourselves to fight on their side of the map. If you do that, you're going to be able to take objectives after fights. You're going to be in good position for Roshan, and so on. The heart is now complete and full, and they're going to go headhunting. Let's see if they pick the right direction. Lynn's way up front. He's bloodlusted, and yeah, this is going to be a whole team moving in this direction. This is so going to be about initiation. And Inflame shows himself. There's going to be BKBs. The Haunt's up. They just wanted vision. And they're being forced back with nothing but Haunt damage, really. The pipe was deployed there as well. And LV looks like they didn't like the scenery, so they're going to back off and reset and not try to fight that out there. Yeah,
Whisper saw, or Lynn, I should say, saw something they didn't like because he BKB'd but just didn't initiate. Maybe he saw them already backing up and just couldn't find a good clear angle, but, well, that's kind of a win for LGD, actually, because now they're going to go into Roche and they know that Haunt's not up. I still think LV can fight without it. Like, if they get a nice AA blast in here, if they suspect there's someone here, and they AA blast it, yeah, they're pinging it out. I think they know.
Tornado going to catch two. Yal wasn't hit with it. There's a Sunstrike. MM wide, caught with it and almost killed by it. Roche is very low. If they're going to stop this, they got to go now. They're not going to get there. Anti-Mage picks up the Aegis, and they're just going to have to back off. So, a little bit sluggish in their response there, and they end up paying with an Aegis going to the Anti-Mage.
So what did he sell? Oh, his Vlads, of course. Or at least put it on the courier. So, yep. Very, very good for LGD. And that's also buying time for In July, who just picked up his refresher. This is a very, very big pickup for them. Everyone in this game seems to be farmed, man. Like even the Rubik's got Blink Force Staff. Miran is still in a crater, sitting on Earned Treads, the same Earned Tread she's had since about minute 8. But other than that, everyone is I mean, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 of the 10 heroes. Soon to be 8, as we're going to see the Ancient Apparition get there momentarily. We're going to have 8 out of 10 heroes who at the 50-minute mark all have 10k net worth or more. That's pretty impressive. You don't see that all that often. I know it. It's pretty crazy. Yo, he's got the cheese. I was wondering who picked up the cheese. I was like, I could have swore that was the third Roshan.
Radiant's top tower
And it's the
is
Ember
under
Spirit,
attack.
so that's good for him. You have to be very careful though, because I'm pretty sure you can't still gain the HP
Radiant's
through the
top
Ancient
tower has
Apparition
fallen.
Ice Blast. So
Yep. Actually, I don't know that for sure. That just sounds right. It makes intuitive sense.
it would seem pretty broken if you could. So
Wow, Lin just went and got smoked. He got shook and Rubik stole the ulti. Is he even going to use it to try to make sure everyone gets away safely? Sunstrike on the mark to kill off MMY. In July actually gets hit by a stray Spectral Dagger. There's going to be the defusal used, and he's going right to work. In July thought about ravaging. He wound up for it. There he's going to do it on the high ground. Sylar's coming back in. Lin's right there as well. They're going to try to turn this around. Sylar's going to be careful going toe-to-toe as ZYF decides he doesn't want to fight. That is a double kill somehow. As we were watching this action, Inflame got a kill somewhere else. And the Tide's going to be able to make it away. That's 2 down. And the Hex used on July. Inflame. Can he finish it off? There's a Tornado. Sunstrike. Got him.
God.
And Inflame's pretty good at Dota, I think. I bet his MMR is good. I bet it's okay.
He's pissed at me for just calling out ZYF as the standout player because he is just completely the MVP of this game. His Invoker's insane. Had a rough start in the laning phase, and sometimes it happens. Like I said, Invoker, Quas, Wex, his damage is pretty crappy in the beginning, but my god, he's just doing everything right. Like, he initiated right there. He could have just Orchids and got an easy kill. He was scared of the counter initiation from Ember, so instead, he just throws out a Sunstrike. And it hits, of course, because he's just really good.
Yeah. Gotta admit it. Somehow I get the impression he is playing mad. Like, this is just mad Dota. You just get mad and just go and, like, just focus in with a big scowl on your face, and you care so much, and you just destroy. Oh, yeah, that's mad. I think he's mad.
Sometimes when you're playing, you just get in a zone and you're doing everything right.
Yep.
It's like you turn into the One, like from the Matrix. Like, you see everything, you know every possible gank, you're thinking of everything that could possibly, and you just execute it perfectly. And I feel like that's what he's doing. His APM is probably like 300 or something crazy right now.
I don't know what you would do with 300 APM in Dota.
I remember in Han, it was actually cool. At the end of every game, they showed you what your APM was.
Yeah, that's how it was in StarCraft too.
StarCraft, I think they had much higher because Han only recorded like I think clicks and clicks and yeah, I think it was just clicks and that was it. I think I don't know.
Yeah, the in-game tracking for StarCraft got rid of spam stuff.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, the highest APM I ever got in a game of anything was when I was as good as I ever was at StarCraft playing Zerg. I hit like 125. So hashtag old man hands. But that is effective APM BT dubs, not just spam keys, not just spamming your hotkeys. Oh, yeah, I was pretty proud.
I knew people that would bind the right click to like their middle mouse scroll button, and they would just scroll it and be like get like 500 APM.
It's so dumb. Like, why? Why would you do that?
For Haxors, man.
Gotta have them 6 stats.
Yep.
Anti-Mage caught. Tornado EMP. MMY's right there. Inflame did get lifted. There's going to be a Ravage as he comes down as well. Spectre haunts in. They're going to try to fight this out. There's a beautiful Ice Blast, though, that got almost everyone. In July and Faith got hit, but the BKBs are all that saved anyone else. Sylar's in trouble. Sylar is going to drop. Took a second. Didn't know if they were actually going to finish him. Triple kill, and going to be a full 5-man wipe as LV has officially gone nuclear, wiping LGD off the map and leaving nothing but glass and tears behind them. 40-18. Net worth exploding. Experience exploding. ZYF just cruising.
This game is really exciting, man. Like it's a lot of fun to watch. And I can't believe how, looking at the net worth, it's actually relatively even for each hero, but it's 40-18. There's so many kills in this Chinese game.
Yeah. This might be the most we've had in any Eastern match to date. I don't think we've had a game like that has hit this ratio of kills per minute. I'm almost positive we haven't. Especially one this long. It usually slows down a lot more. And they don't want to take any chances as everyone's coming back up. I will say I think they could have fought there. I'm a little surprised they didn't. Tide coming back with... Oh, no, he never did refresh, did he? So he would have been able to ravage once. Never mind.
Heaven's Halberd coming out for Whisper, or Lin. And that's pretty damn good against the Anti-Mage and the Ember Spirit. Of course, if they use their Manta and the BKB, but yeah, it's getting very scary because Sylar's not going to get any bigger. I actually scratch that. He sold his Vlads and he's got a Skull Basher now, so the Abyssal Blade. But I just feel like, and I've talked about this, Spectre's just so much better in the sense that, yeah, he won't do as much damage as you maybe, won't attack as quickly, but he just owns your entire team, creates so much disruption and chaos and confusion.
Oh, yeah.
But that's actually, something that you don't account for too much.
Oh, no, I completely agree with you. There's even something to be said about Haunt and the sound it makes. It's kind of a very high-pitched wailing sound, and if you're trying to call out shots, and suddenly you hear that, and you're like, where is she? Where is she? Where's she coming in? Where's she land? That kind of thing. It's very disruptive and has to have a big effect at it certainly does at my level, which is awful tier level, and I'm damn well sure it does at the pro level as well. LV's in a pretty nice spot right now. The Anti-Mage is, and this is the issue with Anti-Mage and why he's not picked more often than he is. I can't remember what the stat line was, and then granted this was last patch, so maybe it'll be different this patch, so take it with a grain of salt. But Anti-Mage's win rate in games that went, I want to say like 35 to 45 minutes was actually really high, like 70 to 80%. But if the game ended before that, or believe it or not, later than that, it was bad. Now they're going to re-engage. Sylar in trouble, caught amidst all of it, and down he goes. They're going to follow it up with a kill on the Tide. And ZYF, what's the word I use? Call him cruising. Just sliding along and winning games. GG called. LGD looked like they might have had something going for a little while. And LV said, nah, we got it. Game 1 win goes their way. This is a best of 5, so still plenty of time for LGD to get things back on track. But it can't feel good to lose one like that to start the series.
Yep, I think both drafts were relatively even. I liked LGD's response to the Spectre with Anti-Mage, I actually did. A couple of problems, though, was that Anti-Mage died a number of times right after he got his Battle Fury. It was 13 minutes with the Tread's Battle Fury, which is insanely good. That's like, what, 11 minutes, 10 minutes without the battle, or without the Treads? Just fantastic farm for him, but had pressure. ZYF had equal amounts of farm, which was very impressive, but man, the man of the hour was in flame on this Invoker. Need I say more? This guy was just going ham.
Oh, no, I completely agree. And a number of adjectives come to mind. Ham's a goodin'. I guess that's more of a verb, right? He's going ham.
RTC just messaged me. He goes, this Invoker is so legit.
Good to know Artur is tuned in and admiring DDC's work as well. And, hey, who knows? If EG comes out of the West, which with their win today, they improved to 2-0. If LV manages to get the win, maybe he'll get to admire it in person in Vegas coming up first week of January. Before we talk that, though, how about we talk Game 2? It's coming up here in just a moment. Again, this is our grand finals in the Eastern Division. LV taking on LGD in our culmination of the bubble race. C-Deck has already punched their tickets to Vegas. These two teams fighting for a chance to join them. It's a best of 5. 1 game advantage now for LV Gaming. We'll be right back with Game 2 here in Season 5 of the HyperX D2L. Stick with us. We'll be right back.